We are in desperate search of certainty. Every day we try to predict what will happen tomorrow, what we will say in that situation, where we will be, which job we are going to have. We will be happy, we will live with content, but something strange ends up happening when we try to predict the future. The thing that happens is that we stop living life and we start living in our head. And this is something that has really happened to me during my life because I have always been a person that really overthinks everything. And at the end of the day, I realized that nothing of what I dreamed, nothing of what I thought happened. Everything was in my head. And after having read the first three parts of the book Les Misérables, I have taken into account three new things to apply into my life. First of all, I want to follow more the example of the Bishop of Digne, who with his example shows me how life should be lived and how multiple experiences happen when you simply trust the process, trust in God, trust that everything is going to be alright. Because when you have someone or some place to put your faith in, and you don't have to be on your own, be in your head, trying to predict everything, you can just flow. The example of the bishop is that he trusts in God. He doesn't care if he's going to in a dangerous place. He doesn't care if someone has a hazard, if someone has a mortal disease and is next to him. He doesn't care because he trusts in God. And he is going to put all his faith, all his life at stake because of the idea of God. And this is what everyone should do with their life. You can put your faith in something. For me and for the bishop is God, and trust in him. And with this simplification, you will experience more life. Because we see that, for example, this bishop, as I said, he goes with the peasants, with people who other disrespect, neglect, avoid. But he, instead of being afraid of what if I would be robbed, what if I shall be killed, no, he simply doesn't care about that. He says, I will do that, and multiple things can happen to me, but regardless of that, I will do it. And that's how I want to live my life. I don't want to be thinking, oh, what will happen if X comes to my place? What will happen if the exam tomorrow is more difficult and has a question I don't know? No, I don't care. I will do my thing. I will do the things the best as I can. And the things that I cannot decide, I will let the universe, God, decide. After this example, I have Jean Valjean, the other character of this history, where I have seen the idea of how you truly can influence someone, of how truly can you change someone. I don't mean change by anything negative. I mean change for trying to influence in a good way someone. And this is shown by two simple words: mercy and encouragement. First of all, we have to understand that certain people, for example, I will use the example of fat people, can feel shame about themselves, can feel like they don't deserve love, like they don't look good. Some things can be true, I am not gonna lie. But we have to give them some mercy. We have to try to make them think of other things. We have to give them love instead of more punishment. Because what do you think the robber, the murderer, or the fat person expects? He expects to be shamed, to be laughed at, to be discouraged from society. And if this happens, most of the time we have seen that people, instead of using this anger as a fuel for a change. They use it as a fuel to hurt other people or to hurt more society. But when someone has done a bad deed and we give them some love and the word I used before, some encouragement, something for them to fight for, because when you have done this horrible deed, you literally all your world has fallen off and you have nothing to fight for because maybe your family doesn't respect you anymore, you lost your friends, you lost all your relations. They need something that hands them a hand and tries to put them on his feet because they have fallen and they need strength, not discouragement. And that's why we should try to make people feel better about themselves when they are trying to do some type of change, when they want to start, for example, going to the gym, or when they want to start reading, or they want to start, for example, a YouTube channel. We should be more prompt to help these people with kind words, and sometimes this can be counterproductive because some people wants to be really comfortable, doesn't want to work hard enough, and when he receives nice words, he can stop working. But I wanted to use this example in more extreme cases when we have people with words addictions like smoking or obesity, or for example, they have committed a crime. It's difficult to give them these kind words because they don't come to you as natural words. They don't come to you as a first sight. You have to think carefully about them because also they have to be genuine. We cannot lie to a person because he will know it, you will know it, and with lies you cannot create and build a relationship with someone because there's need to be a one to make that change to happen. And that's why it's a good reflection to think about prisons nowadays, that how these prisoners are treated because they are stripped of their work, they are stripped of their childs, of their families, and all hate relies upon them. Yeah, 200 years ago, when they had to go into these boats and had to uh, work there and they were literally enslaved, it was much worse. But today, we have not made much of a great change. We have not found a way to make prisoners. I don't want to make them amused all day, but I want them to have some type of anchor that makes them want to fight for or move forward. Because if they don't have that, what incentives do they have to reconstruct their life? What incentives have them for try to love again mankind and don't hate society and its consequences? And this is a good reflection. And third of all, the last part I read, and it was more about love. And in this part, I found how people who idealize love and like the person I commented in the first example, they end up constructing all these things in their head, and after that nothing happens because uh, when you see someone that maybe you find attractive or someone who you have a good connection or you simply talk with them, you can really think, oh, maybe he will become my friend, maybe she will become my girlfriend. You won't have all these thoughts in your head, but if you don't materialize it, nothing will happen. The phrase I want to end this video with is if you don't ask, nothing will be given. If you don't move, nothing will occur. If there is no action, there is no history.